Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Krishna Katha quiz. Who has received that mantra in the Srimad Bhagavatam to chant? Who gave it? Right, you are a champion. That's where I'm at in the Bhagavatam. So I'm somehow dovetailing where I'm reading, talk about books. It's a must. Well, this is Prabhupada said book distribution must be given stress always. So, and I've got 3 books for you all to distribute at the end. So if anybody's leaving early, please pick up at least one, and you can experience, if you haven't already, the nectar, unlimited nectar, unlimited. Like that kirtan was unlimited. The introduction was unlimited. Everything is unlimited. Unlimited nectar from distributing one book, and then hopefully you get addicted. And then buying cases from PBT, being mad after distributing more and more and more. So I thought I'd read from, I've got a little bit of a theme here going on with Bhagavatam. And Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Sankara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So this will be Srimad Bhagavatam 4.8.34. And we have Narada Muni, Dhruva, if everybody know the story of Dhruva Mars, raise your hand if you don't. You don't recall.
Which cool?
Dhruva Mars, if you don't know the story.
Yeah, I have to say no.
Yeah, I mean, it's all nectar, hearing it again and again. I mean, I've read it so many times. It's so inspiring. Part of Bhagavatam. All of Bhagavatam is perfectly inspiring. So Dhruva Maharaj is a boy. I think he's like 5. So he's young. And he's a great grandson of Brahma, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, something like that. And he's got his king. His father has a couple wives, at least 2, and one son from another wife gets on his. It's kind of cool when you're a kid to get on dad's lap, showering you with the nectar, and so he's the one boy from not Dhruva's mother, but the other wife. Is on his lap. So the Dhruva starts to climb on his lap. Oh, it's good. And his father pushes him. What's going on? And the wife, the father is attached to the other wife more than the Dhruva mother. And his mother, and so he doesn't want to offend her. So it's kind of like it's a difficult situation here. Because of his attachment. So, and then his mother goes, if you want to get on the lap of your father, experience, the kingdom, you want to rule, as a hero or whatever, you have to come from my womb. The wife of the king is milking it a lot. And true, like, he has a Kshatriya spirit, a warrior spirit, very, very strong in him. And he goes crying to his mom's like, oh, what to do? And so mother says, go to Krishna. He can solve all the problems. Through his life, go see him. Where's he at? Well, he's in the forest. So at 5 years old, he goes into the forest. You can imagine back then, it's not like that was a populated time with cities and stuff. You can go where like forest years. Maybe you got a mountain lion. I guess that's an issue actually. But for kids, not so much for adults, but maybe for kids that'd be an issue. So he goes out into the forest and hangs out there, and he's determined to get a kingdom greater than his great grandfather. He wants a kingdom greater than Brahma. Brahma is the creator of the universe. Brahma's kingdom is the universe. So he wants a kingdom greater than that. And Narada Muni, traveling spaceman, he's colored God. You can understand the hearts of living entities. And so he comes, Krishna is going, hey, I think this is a good candidate for somebody that can make it back to the kingdom of God. He's fired up to see me. And so somebody wants God. Krishna sends him spiritual master. So by the mercy of the spiritual master, one can attain Krishna, and by the mercy of Krishna, one can have a bona fide spiritual master. So Narada Muni shows up and goes, man, you're just a boy, come on, chill out, chill. You can go to God later on. He's kind of testing him. You're older, and you should be chill. You should be happy and under all circumstances. Why be so attached? It's the way the world works like this. And he's giving all these instructions. Your Mars is like, I appreciate your Brahminical instructions, but I am a Kshatriya. I am a warrior. And this lofty Kshatriya like talk that Prabhupada and what I'll do here regularly, this is a Brahminical place. It doesn't stick in my heart, and I want a kingdom greater than my great grandfather. Okay. So he gives him the instruction, but before he does all that, and part of his instructions, he gives this really cool statement here. So the Sanskrit is which said Anukrusham Gunadharmat Matrim Samanad Anvichin Natapar Abhuyate. Every man should act like this when he qualifies himself. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate toward him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries in this material world. And if you will, please repeat. Every man should act like this.
Every man should act like this.
When he meets a person more qualified than himself,
when he meets a person more qualified than himself,
he should be very pleased.
He should be very pleased.
When he meets someone less qualified than himself,
when he meets someone less qualified than himself,
he should be compassionate for him.
He should be compassionate for him.
And when he meets someone equal to himself,
and when he meets someone equal to himself,
he should make friendship with him.
He should make friendship with him.
In this way,
one
is never affected.
One is never affected
by the threefold miseries of this material world.
By the threefold miseries of this material world.
That's a big statement. It's like a way to, motive operandi once you have this mind. And here Prabhupada says in purport, generally when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of them. When we find someone less qualified, we deride him. And when we find someone equal, we become very proud of our activities. These are the causes of all material tribulations. The great sage Narada therefore advised the devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be more jolly to receive him. I notice my progress from, it's hard to see your incremental progress, but I'm here like just a couple weeks every year. So I noticed last year, working on my poor heart, on my contamination, I missed out on appreciating some of the senior Prabhupada disciples. We had some not good times, sometimes. And this time, I remember feeling more, I'm really appreciating them, which that's just a year progress. Anything progress we can make. Not that I feel a little bit, I had to give myself, not a full on, I'm not perfect or anything, but, just throwing that out there, being real. The great sage Narada therefore advised that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate toward him, just to raise him to the proper standard. Compassionate, raising him to the proper standard. And when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should also have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. These important functions will make one happy within this material world. You know, I've been up in the mountains for like 6 months with no association at all and disturbing books, and you come back into the devotee association, and you just have to, I don't know, adjust and see new perspective, and the heart when I first arrived was just trying to seek real happiness, like real happiness. Where is it? They're so conditioned to think that happiness is enjoying the senses. And what I came to, though, was Krishna Katha, the pastimes of Krishna, the association of devotees. It's really the topmost thing. I mean, I log it all throughout, and then I finally found, that's it. Okay, that's what I go for. And it really does work. And part of that is, of course, sharing Krishna Katha with others, especially, as Prabhupada says, with those that are less fortunate, that have forgotten Krishna. And that pretty much is, as dear Prabhu said, 99.999% of the population. You don't have to work too hard trying to find somebody that's forgotten Krishna in this world today. So that part of it's really easy. The other part that's really easy is because Prabhupada is really given us the foundation from which we can, springboard back to the kingdom of God very easily. With the temple, association of devotees, and with books. It's so easily available, filled with Krishna Katha. Rather than in the old days, if you wanted to get the knowledge before the printing press, they were very reluctant because they had to handwrite the whole Bhagavatam or the whole Gita. Imagine even handwriting the whole Gita, how long that would take you, let alone the Bhagavatam. They would go, okay. But so that person couldn't just be like cheaply just, check it out. They had to make a decision, and that they had to vow that for the rest of your life, you have to devote your entire life to giving this knowledge to others. And then I'll bother to write. And when that person made that vow, then they wrote it and gave it. So we see how serious this is, now we have a printing press, and we can just print press, and we can just let them fly, which is an incredible opportunity for rapid spiritual advancement. You can go down to Mexico, maybe you get donations for them or not, depending on how much wealth you might have.
In Spanish?
Yeah, not in Spanish. Yeah. Muy bueno. Mucho libros. And, not to brag or anything, but people are hungry for knowledge out there. Not everybody, for sure, but there are.
Would that be kind of like an order through the press thing, or are they available here in Spanish?
Oh, totally good. We have them here at the temple. You can get them. Oh, yeah.
And I go to Mexico.
All right. Yeah. I just, last weekend, probably distributed 400 books. Not to brag.
In Mexico or here?
In Mexico.
Okay. Great.
Just
Wow,
like-
fantastic.
Sitting
Here in the north?
on the south side.
No, but I mean in northern Mexico. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great.
And nobody gave me a hard time. Just total blitz. People were really appreciative. I mean, I'm not bragging here, but just making a point how it can be. You know, you imagine you just sitting down with somebody, yeah, I'd like to tell you about Krishna. And and the guy's like uncomfortable because you're there. At least when somebody tried to do that for me here when I first joined, I was like squirming, you know, I got far away. You know, a little closer to we're eating a meal together. I think Joshua, the 10th president, told Guru Shakti, yeah, I think he's interested in, you know, me. Why don't you try to reel him in, you know, and sit down by me and be like, you know, tell me all about Krishna. I loved it, but I was like, you know, uncomfortable around humans.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, you were over that.
That sounds pretty intense,
Yeah, that too. So,
especially back then.
yeah. So that, you know, you can do that and take a lot of your time, or you can just give them a book, right? And then the guy checks it out in his own time, not squirming, nobody around, really squirming, and reading away and rereading it. Okay, I didn't quite understand that. Right? So it's a more productive way to to educate others under almost all circumstances. There's definitely exceptions to the rule. So, and you have so many programs here, you can put in a bookmark with that book, you know, to this bookmark, invitation thing. It looks like a bookmark, right? And put that in the book and say, this is I mean, I have no problem at all. I've lived here for 20 years of my life. Okay? I have no problem telling anybody this is the very best place in Tucson. I mean, I've gone to everywhere in Tucson. This is the best place for sure. And it moves people. Some of them come around. It's a great way to spread Krishna consciousness and movement. This is a wonderful way to move the movement, you know, to be in the movement and make it move fast. Very, very fast. And the more you move the movement, as Prabhupada says, the more you give Krishna to others, the more you go. So you're getting, with every book that goes out, that's what I recognized when I first started book distribution. I knew that I had this stuff. You know, it's like I mentioned in the last class, like a glove over the tongue, you're trying to eat the cheesecake. You know, something here, you know, the subtle body and gross body that interferes with my pure freedom. And I used to do Ironmans to get rid of that. You start with a 2.4 mile swim, 112 miles, and then you run a marathon. And around the last 5 miles of the marathon, my yogic fires are burning so bright that it did burn up some things out of severe austerities. So like that would be like but it's different with Bhakti Yoga. And so, but when I distributed a book, so much stuff went away, much more than when after I did all that, like, you know, 3-hour ordeal. And much more, just with one book going on. I recognize that. I can't imagine that. Give another book, so much stuff. There's like clearance of that things, the conditioned contamination of consciousness getting removed rapidly. So then I have to recognize that. Let me just arrange my life so I can just constantly do that. If I'm not doing that, student in the book, thinking, okay, where's the next venue to go to so I get the maximum? So, okay, then Malami, so I can just do books this week, you know, whatever. It's just, and then there's just a constant flow. So, of course, any devotional service does the same thing, helping at the restaurant, because this is all about the Sankirtan movement at the restaurant. So you're getting the same stuff. But Prabhupada did say many things, amazing things about book distribution, being the most important activity, and on and on and on. So taking advantage of it is beyond highly recommended. So what does Narada Muni tell Dhruva Maharaj to do after he passed the test? Okay, this guy's sincere. He's not taking my advice and doing this later on. He wants Krishna now. Okay, he really wants Krishna now. What are you telling me? Okay, you chant this mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. This is a previous age. Today it's Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. and get involved with the Sankirtan mission. Now, Sankirtan, right? Was it Sankirtan prayer, Sumedisha, all that words I forgot. Srimad 11, 532, I believe. And it's saying those with sufficient intelligence engage in the Sankirtan mission, because this is the process for perfection in the days age. Chanting Hare Krishna with others. And Prabhupada says these are written kirtans. You have the Sankirtan. There's different ways to interpret Sanskrit and all, but a lot of people interpret it as more than one. In other words, not just you sitting in a closet chanting Hare Krishna. No. Today's age, we all can't do it. I don't care who you are. You can't do it. You can't do it. I've tried it. You can't do it. Nobody can, not that I'm great, but nobody's able to do it unless you are an extremely rare thing, which is, 1 in a billion or whatever it is. 1 in many millions and 1 in India and some in the Cove, maybe. But us Westerners forget it. So we need, it's chanting, yeah, but Sankirtan. You take advantage of the Sankirtan mission with more than one. Go out with more than one. Go hiring on with more than one. And distributing books. It's you and somebody's receiving that book. There's 2, more than one. So you're interacting, helping spread them with others. That's Sankirtan. Spreading Krishna consciousness with others. So that's the program for today's age. And Dhruva was in a different age. Where people lived a lot longer and so many other things. There's different ages for different ways to progress. Today's age is Sankirtan. And those that are taking advantage of that grace, they have sufficient intelligence. Because not taking advantage of that means we're not making a smart move. We're just not smart. This is Kali Yuga. Prabhupada says it's it's a fast track. It's a fast track one way or another. You can fast track back home to Godhead, taking advantage of the Sankirtan. It's a fast track. Really going to lower species. It's active birth and so forth and so on, because it's really rough here. So, and also, in addition to that, we're not Dhruva Maharaj. Our great-grandfather wasn't Lord Brahma. But we weren't so qualified to receive the traveling spaceman grace, the Lord of the Lord, eating blood, standing on one foot for a month, and not even drinking for months on end. Let's see you do that for an hour. And instead of just give you some leaves for sure. How long you got? So talking about a unique individual. So but we should know that we can think, okay, should I take up this book distribution or whatever full-time Sankirtan in some form? Oh, book distribution is really something to take advantage of. There's a rapid advancement you can make for yourself and the world. Prabhupada's guru always says, if you get money, print books. Prabhupada really took that to heart. He really pushed on book distribution like anything. So, there's been maybe a generation gap somewhere along the way. They pushed book distribution like anything. Almost a half a billion went out. Cut the tail end of that, I think, coming around here maybe. And then kind of pendulum swung the other way. But in that generation might not have been exposed to how important the book distribution is. The Prabhupada really stressed. So since Prabhupada says book distribution must be given stress always, I'm trying to do that as best as I can to help others understand, how important this is. So you can think being in a body that size or whatever. I remember when I first joined, I went with I don't know how that hooked up with this wonderful devotee, left his body a while back. He was one of the people in a wheelchair, they just have a thing here. That's all they can do. They can't do anything, the whole body's not working. And we were taking care of him. He just fired up distributed books. He'd go out in the Walmart parking lots, around, and another thing to talk to, like, oh yeah, and he distributed a lot of books. He made devotees too. People that became full-time devotees from that person. So we might think there's impediments, to advancing in Krishna consciousness. But here, Dhruva Maharaj is 5 years oldish. 5, and he wants Krishna. And he's in the forest. And there's no, can you imagine, there's snakes back then, snakes and all kinds of things. Tigers, there are tigers around, lions, on and on and on and on. I remember when my dad threw me out of the house. When I was about that age, I was flipping out. I was really flipping. I was calling God, and God showed up, it's on one level. And I was just scared to death. And I was thinking, I got to keep chanting this mantra. I got to keep calling out to you. How am I going to do that? How am I going to end up? People are going to think I'm insane also. You don't see this in life. And I got scared, and also, some pervert's going to pick me up, whatever. Ran back to mom. I failed in that pursuit that Krishna gave me an awesome opportunity, but Dhruva didn't. So we might think of these impediments along the way. And I did think later on, I'll take to this, and fortunately I did at least. But at that age I did fail. Not to get into that. But and I remembering thinking, if I do this now, 5, whatever I'm doing, I'll really thank myself later. But it's just, sorry, Krishna. So I wasn't as good as Drew. But the point is that even if you think you have so many impediments, whatever it might be, impediments could be anything. There's no material impediments to us performing devotional service. None. Krishna doesn't, anything could happen. Anything could happen. Like these devotees, just yesterday they just came down tonight. Amazing personalities. They're just kind of new and just, Guru told me to distribute books, so here I'm at the wearing. They distributed 12 cases. Some of them never distributed books ever before. They distributed 6 of them, they distributed 12 cases of books in their wearing. And they're back in there, they're doing it again. They need more books, running out of books. On and on and on. They just have that spirit. And they're not thinking impediments. They're just like, Guru asked me to do this, just like Dhruva Maharaj, well, Narayana asked me to do this, so I'm going to go do it. I want Krishna. In this kind of mood. So determined, so many impediments Dhruva Maharaj had. And we all can have as we advance in the Sankirtan movement, perform, sacrifice for it. And just staying determined, staying with it. Nobody's expected to be a superstar at all. No, it's just applying ourselves. In fact, Prabhupada says, don't try to be a great devotee. In the Nectar of Devotion. He says, just try to please the previous acharyas. So, any kind of devotional service pleases the previous acharyas. But Prabhupada's Guru did say that, Prabhupada said that when would see an insignificant brahmachari go out and distribute a couple little pamphlets and bring in a couple pies, something, whatever, 50 cents for this or whatever, he'd be immensely pleased. He'd be super pleased. So I remember Dawson telling me that, and it just inspired me. Well, I think I can try to do that, And I tried, and Krishna, you immediately get that reciprocation from Krishna by doing this. Immediately, it's just uncanny. I mean, it's like, okay, Krishna, you're real. This all of a sudden the elements just completely change. Krishna, you realize Krishna this way. Krishna is a person. And Brigapati Prabhu was amazing. Book distributor, distributed books for 50 years. And he says, yeah, but as through many books you realize Krishna is a person. Of course, any devotional service you get realization. But because Prabhupada did say it's the most important activity many, many times, the reciprocation from Krishna is really huge. So, it's the most effective for helping to spread Krishna consciousness. And this is best for us and best for the world. So it should be in our interest to get involved, at least on some level. Even if it's just making a point of distributing one book a week. One book a week. It'd be amazing how much more you get into the middle of the fire, it's like, of Krishna consciousness. Like here we are, a spark outside the fire a little bit, with soot all over it. You see fires kind of, you see kind of, I'm not saying you all, but for me, barely flaming, Krishna, the Guru comes along with, hey, man, you're not the soot, you're the flame. You're part and parcel of the fire. Yeah, oh, I am? Oh, okay, well, yeah, and this is the way you get rid of that soot. You just kind of, chant Hare Krishna and share it with others. Oh, okay. And then you start doing that, and the soot starts to get closer to the middle of the fire. In the middle of the fire, it's like a blue flame. It's totally bright. There's those little sparks in there. They don't have any soot on them. No soot. No contamination of consciousness. Just absorbed because we're spirit, not the body. And the spirit soul's got to function on that spiritual level, which means engaging in Sankirtan missions. It is the practical way to do it to today's age. And you've got to remember that it's the Sankirtan mission, not just chanting, yeah, but Sankirtan also. And then really make nice traction. Really, because you're getting the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. What can we do without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya? And just really please consider this. Sorry to say this way, but I'm in the mountains and not used to interaction with humans. So, but before you go to Vaikuntha, okay, you go to some planet where everybody, you get 4 arms, everybody worships Lord Narayan on reverence. And that's wonderful and perfect and all, for sure. But the topmost planet in the spiritual world is Goloka Vrindavan, where people are, coward boys are climbing on Krishna's back. There's no crippling of intimacy with, oh God. No, it's just pure love, totally pure love, the highest state, pure state of consciousness, totally pure, topmost, pure love of God. So by engaging in the Sankirtan mission today, Lord Chaitanya comes around once every, how many billions of years? He was here 500. And by engaging in the Sankirtan mission, the prophet is perfectly delineated for us. Perfectly. You study the original literature, you bow down to Prabhupada because he somehow perfectly did it. By pure Krishna's mercy. And then you go back to Goloka Vrindavan, the topmost planet in the spiritual world. So the reward is the topmost. Topmost. You can't get anything better. You have to look for anything better. You got it. And it's all we have to do is just plug in. Like, excuse me, sir, you look like you're kind of interested in spiritual life, like a higher conscious thinking. Here, love you to take this. Yeah. And I'm just somebody got fortunate with the knowledge. Somebody gave it to me earlier, and I'm happy from it. And yeah. And here's a restaurant in Mumbai. It's a really cool place. And if you want, you can say, if you can leave me a little donation so I get more of them out, it'd be really cool. Really that simple. There's nothing more than that. But I do recommend having some introductory thing, like, a genuine one, like you look like a sincere spiritual type, something like that. Gentle and not like, hey, compliments. Prophets is flatter than like anything. Mean it in a fake way, which is, helps all greatly. So stop there. Yeah, let me just see if everyone's Yeah. And one other verse thing I just want to read real quick, sorry, 4839. So here, Prabhupada's illuminating something very important. The sage Maitreya continued, the great personality Narada Muni, upon hearing the words of Dhruva Maharaj, became very compassionate towards him. Remember, what do we do with people who are more advanced than us?
We're happy about it, right?
What do we do with those that are less advanced than us?
We're compassionate.
Yeah, help bring them to the standard. And equal?
Or friendly with them.
Perfecto. The sage Maitreya continued, the great personality of Narada Muni, upon hearing the words of Dhruva Maharaj, became very compassionate toward him. Right? Narada Muni's topmost. And in order to show him his causeless mercy, he gave him the following advice. So then he gives no that advice. But the purport says, since the great sage Narada is the foremost spiritual master, naturally his only activity is to bestow the greatest benefit upon whomever he meets. Only activity bestowing the greatest benediction. Wow. Only, always. Dhruva Maharaj, however, was a child, and his demand was that like a playful child. Still, the great sage became compassionate toward him. For his welfare, he spoke the following verses. So that's the point. If we can get to the point where we only bestow the greatest benediction upon others, we got it made. We have no more problems. Actually, we've completely uprooted all of our selfish contamination, consciousness, and nonsense thoughts. Prabhupada's Guru stated that my only desire, he said, is to wish the very best for my worst enemy. Imagine that. You can get to that point, you don't have any more problems. You transcended this material world. So this is the solution. Really, the only solution is striving for this. And nailing it. By Krishna's mercy, we can do it. Really. Because Krishna wants us to be these perfect saints, perfect devotees. So the benedictors offering the greatest benediction. And honestly, the highest achievement in life is knowledge. This is the topmost stuff on the planet. And I'm not saying that sentimentally. This really is. I've done my research. Best stuff. Highest achievement in life. Giving the highest achievement in life to as many people as we can. That's like maxing this out. Okay, sorry. Thanks for letting me share all that. Really appreciate you letting me share all that. Any comments or questions? We got some prashad coming in.
Coming here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
And just about.
I'm just gonna go get some over there.
Well, it's free here if you want. As you would.
I like to leave good tips for good, so I'm just gonna
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
About the Spanish, so are you gonna go back to Nogales anytime soon to do that again?
Might do it this weekend.
This weekend?
Might.
Would you like to take my number? I speak Spanish kind of.
Yeah.
I can help.
You wanna
I mean,
come down?
look, I'm not an initiated devotee, but
No,
I'm a
this
devotee.
sounds super
So
good.
I'd be thrilled to
Yeah.
take part in what you're talking about. And
Yeah, how about if you give me your number now?
yeah.
Let me just tell you, have my number and then we can connect.
Okay. I don't have a phone. I didn't bring a phone.
This is kind of, what's your number?
520
Uh-huh,
808
uh-huh,
9428.
9428. I'm calling you now and you have me, okay?
Okay, super. Yep. I'm Denny. So I'll